Hey everyone, welcome back to Snack Time. My name is Ben, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you a really cool project called AliasVault. So the way that I look at AliasVault is I look at it kind of like this. So have you ever went to a website and it's asking for a bunch of personal information, but you don't really want to give it accurate information and have them bug you for the rest of your life? Well, that's where AliasVault comes in. It will generate an identity for you. It'll generate an email address for you and allow you to be able to receive email to that address for as long as you want to, until eventually maybe one day you just, kill it off. So there's a couple of ways you can do this. You can sign up for a free vault on their website, or what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to set this up on your server. That way you'll be able to link it to your domain, but you do have options. So let's do this. Let me first show you the one that I set up on my server and how it works. And then later on in the video, I'm going to show you how to set it up on your server and configure your domain with the proper DNS settings. So I have one set up, alias.synhow.com, and let's just create a new vault. And agree to the terms of service. Let's pick a username. Let's just call it SYNACK. And it's available. Hit continue. I'm going to pick a password. Oh, password is valid, but it could be stronger, huh? Couldn't they all? All right, let's go ahead and continue. And awesome. So welcome to your vault. And this is just kind of take you through the whole tips and tricks and what you need to do, what you should do, setting up MFA. Obviously you want to do that, how to use different identities. I'm just going to go ahead and get started. I love the clean interface. I mean, even this is a beta, still the UI is really snappy and really nice. So let's say we do need a new alias. Maybe we're setting up like a sock puppet for Facebook. So let's say Facebook, and let's just do the URL, just going to be facebook.com. You do have the option to set up in advanced. So advanced basically opens up all this extra information for you before you commit to it. But if you just want to do something just like really quickly, let's try that first. So I'm going to do Facebook again, facebook.com, and just hit create. So this will go through and set up everything for you. It'll generate a username for you. It'll generate an email address, and it'll generate a password as well. If we do get email to this address, this is where it's going to show up. And I want to show you how that looks. So hang on one second. Let me create an email and just send it over. All right, so when you get a new email, so say, hey, I gave this identity to someone on Facebook and now they're emailing me. I can click on the email and it will show me exactly who it came from, who it's going to, and the subject. So you can't reply to emails for this, but that's not really what this is really meant for. It's very similar if you've ever used like temp-mail.org. This will generate just like a one-time kind of email for you, but this is very similar, except it allows you to keep that temporary email address for a little bit longer than just the life of the browser session. And you can also come in here and add additional information, like if you gave it a certain birthday, it'll generate it down here at the bottom, but this keeps track of it in case in the future, maybe Facebook asks you what your birthday is. So one thing that it doesn't have is a way to keep up with like MFA. I think that would be really cool, so that if you had to generate an MFA code, you could actually put it in here. I think that would be really awesome. So maybe something to keep in mind. But like I said, this is a very, very new project. And the fact that it's so very polished and beautiful looking at such an early stage is pretty cool. So if we jump back, we can just see a list of our credentials here. So as we add more, they'll, show up in this list. So let's say if we wanted to do MySpace, and we'll create one for that. And then we'll do one for Instagram. So it just adds to this list of credentials. Oh, cool. It even pulls the little icon for it too. That's pretty cool. I pulled MySpace. I didn't even notice that. That's awesome. So it looks pretty. That's pretty cool. So we can jump over to emails too. That will show you all of the emails that have come into your various accounts, and you can view them. Let's see if there's anything else crazy here. We can lock and unlock. That's kind of cool. So if you're walking away from your machine, obviously you want to lock that. All right, let's see. Let's take a look at the settings over here. So we have general, security, vault settings, and dark mode. So let's click on general. All right, so this is the default email domain. Looks like there's a bunch of public ones too. That's pretty cool. So that's neat. So I guess you can set them up with that too. That's pretty cool. Well, we're using our private one because that's the one we set up, but that's awesome that you have the choice. Yeah. Let's see. Let's go back under security. All right, so we have where we can set up our MFA. We can enable that with just a little bit of a QR code. So it says quick vault unlock. By default, when you reload the vault page or tab, you will be prompted to enter your master password again. Alternatively, you can use a browser passkey or a hardware authenticator such as a YubiKey instead of your master password. So that's pretty neat. It's definitely something to check out. Also, we have, the last person that signed in. We get a little bit of information about their user agent, and we also have the recent authenticator logs at the very bottom. We can see when the last time somebody signed in, what the IP addresses that they came from, what username they used. All right, so let's see if there's anything else. Let's see vault settings. Okay. So with vault settings, we have the ability to export them. So if you decide maybe this isn't the best password manager / alias vault for you, you can export it to a SQLite or a CSV file and have all of your passwords. So one thing this doesn't have yet is like a browser extension or a mobile app, but like I said, still pretty new. And lots of potential here. So they do have a great documentation. They have a really good about section. You can read about the author or the developer rather. So yeah, pretty cool. So definitely a very cool software. I hope you guys can see some value in it. I want to walk you through this setup. And for this, we're not going to be using Portainer. I tried to do it manually, but it was a huge pain in the butt, and you guys would have just been totally pissed off at me if I had tried to walk you through it. But the developer did give us this amazing installation script that we can run on our Linux machine, which basically will just use the Docker that we have already set up, and we won't need Portainer for this. And we also will not need Nginx Proxy Manager. We're going to be using the installation script that takes care of all of that for us. And so that brings me to my next thing. So since AliasVault does come with its own reverse proxy, it's going to make running Nginx Proxy Manager kind of difficult. I'm sure you could do it, but honestly, what I would like to do is suggest a different alternative. If you are going to host this for yourself and run it on a cloud server, I would recommend you looking at Racknerd. You can use whatever server you want, but these guys are really cheap and have an impressive uptime and performance. So they have server plans that start at like $18 for the entire year. That's not per month, that's 18 bucks. And you own it for the entire year. And when it comes time to renew, it's also going to be that $18. It's not going to be like, hey, surprise, it's $300 now or something like that. Now, every time that I have gotten one of these servers and I use these for snack time and my personal projects, they always stick with their prices that you initially signed up for. So I'm going to put a link down below for you to click on. You can also go to snacktime.com/racknerd and it will bring up this page. And if you are interested in helping the channel out a little bit, definitely just click order now from any of these options. But I think you can get away with just like this 2 gig, and that's plenty. You might be able to even get away with the 1 gig, and that's like less than $1 a month. So yeah, not too bad of a price. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. Let's jump into the installation. I can show you how to get it set up, and I'm also going to show you how to configure your DNS server. We'll be using Namecheap's DNS, but you can basically take the things that I'm going to show you here and apply them to pretty much any DNS server. Let's go ahead and jump into that right now. So we are going to need a terminal connection into our server. So just something to keep in mind. Let's head over to their GitHub page. Let's scroll down and we should be able to find the installation. And there we go. Here is our system requirements. And that's one reason I suggested getting the step above on the Racknerd. But it looks like you can even get away with running it on something like even a Raspberry Pi. So that would be pretty cool. Okay, so now it's time to open our terminal window, and I'm going to be using Tabby Terminal, but you can use whatever you want. You can use Windows Terminal, PowerShell, whatever you're comfortable with. So let's just do SSH, and my username is SYNACK, and my IP address is this. And once you have signed in with either your password or your SSH key, we are now ready to proceed with the installation. And what we're going to need is we are going to need to get this installation.sh file. So let's copy that and paste it here. All right, and once we have it pasted, we do need to make it executable. So I'm going to do a chmod +x install sh. So next thing we're going to do is run it, but we are going to need elevated permission. So I'm going to do a sudo and then install sh space install. All right, so it's asking us where we're going to be hosting it. What's our host name? And this is very important. We are going to do, I want it to be internet facing. I'm going to make mine alias.synhow.com. All right, and support email address. This is optional, but let's just do support@alias.synhow.com. You don't have to put that if you don't want to, if you don't want to provide any support. All right, so what it's going to do is it's going to run through this and it's going to give us everything that we need. And like I said, the installation script for this software is pretty thorough. All right, let's take our password and record that. And this is going to pull all of our images for us, and it's going to go ahead and set up everything that we need on our Docker server. All right, cool. We are all done. Like I said, that was really easy. And that's exactly why I decided not to do the manual route, because this will set up everything the way that it should be. And it's just a lot less error prone. Let's do this. Let us set up our DNS server, because right now we need to be able to point our traffic here so that we can set up our security certificates and also enable our mail server. So let's jump over to our advanced settings under Namecheap. The first thing that we need to do is we need to set up the subdomain. So I'm going to add one here, and I'm going to make this an A record. The host is just going to be Alias. My IP address is going to be my external IP address of my server. And then I'm just going to hit save and save all changes here. All right, so that takes care of getting to the site, but that does not take care of getting email, which is definitely what we want. For this, I'm going to set up an MX record. And that MX record can honestly just point to the same subdomain. So if I drop this down, I'm going to do a custom MX record. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here so hopefully you can see it. All right, so my host is just going to be the @ and that basically means that anything that goes to SYNACK or synhow.com is going to go to this mail server. So I'm going to make that alias.synhow.com, and I'm going to give it a priority of 1. Save changes. All right, so we've set up our alias, and now we are good to go. Just something to keep in mind that if you didn't want it to go to the like the main domain, like the @synhow.com, then what you would do is instead of an @ symbol for the host, you would put alias, and that would be whatever at alias.synhow.com. But I'm just going to use synhow, and that's most likely how you're going to do it too. You're probably not going to even set up a subdomain. You'll probably just use this one at the very top here, just the entire domain for this. But it's up to you. Totally your call. All right, let's jump back to our terminal window. All right, so now that we're back at our terminal window, let's run the install script again, but let's remove install. And this will allow us to add additional configuration to our AliasVault. So the first thing I want to do is I want to configure SSL. All right, and so it's asking, what do you want to do? Do you want to do self-signed, which is an option, or do you want to use Let's Encrypt? I'm going to use Let's Encrypt since this is going to be internet facing. It's telling us basically you have to have alias.synhow.com listening on port 80 and 443. They need to be able to get to that. So if you don't have that set up, then you might need to do some port forwarding. But if you're using like a cloud-based server, it's already probably going to be done for you, unless you have a firewall or something. Then ask for the email address that you want to use, and this is just to satisfy Let's Encrypt's requirements. I'm just going to use info@synack.com. And yep, confirmed. All right, it's going to request, and if everything went okay, it's going to pull the certificate, and also is going to make all the changes on the settings for us, which, like I said, it's very cool script. Very well done. All right, we are successful. All right, let's do this. Let's go back to our installation script. All right, so now we have our SSL configured. Now let's configure our email server as well. So we're going to do install again and then configure email. All right, so it's asking us, do we want to enable the server / update domains? And I'm going to hit 1. And now it's asking us what domains we have that are going to be pointing and give the ability for the server to use. So if you have a bunch of them, then you can set them up to all go here, just similar to the way that we set up a Namecheap for SYNACK or for synhow. But I'm going to put just synhow.com in here. If you also wanted to set up alias.synhow.com to point to this and have that as an optional email address domain, then you would simply do a comma and then alias.synhow.com. But I'm just going to do synhow because that's the one that I set up under my MX record. If I did other ones, then I would have to make sure that I set up MX records for those domains too. Hope that makes sense. If you have any questions about that, please leave them down below and I'll be happy to answer them for you. I know MX records and DNS settings can sometimes be a little intimidating and confusing, but once you dive in, you'll be fine. I'm going to just do synhow.com. All right, and it's saying, is that correct? It is correct. Okay, and Docker needs to restart. Yes. Cool. All right, so now it's saying if you want to test it out, feel free. Otherwise, if your mail doesn't arrive, check your DNS settings. It's always DNS. And also make sure that your firewall allows 25 and 587. So if you are hosting this at your home, something to keep in mind is that a lot of internet providers will block port 25 from getting in to your network. So it's another good reason to maybe consider doing this on a cloud server. That and really security too is also a great reason. All right, let's see. I think we got pretty much everything that we really need to be configured here. Let's give it a once over, but I think we're good. Yeah, you can reset your admin password. There's all sorts of stuff you can do here. If you want to update, then that's really easy to do as well. You'll just come in here and just do install sh update, and it will go through and look for the latest version, and it will tell you, hey, you are already on the latest version because you just installed it a second ago, you idiot. All right, so let's do this. Let's jump over to a new tab and let's take a look at our new web page. All right, there we go. That is working. Cool beans. Establishing its connection. Nice. So this will let you log in and set up your account. Now let's do this. I'm going to change this to /admin. And I want to sign in with my admin credentials. And let's take a look at the back end here and see what kind of options that we have to configure. Cool. So it's telling us, obviously you would probably want to use MFA with this, but this will allow you to list all of the users that have signed up for an account. And you can also perform actions on those users. Let me create one real quick and we can see what kind of actions we can perform. Probably just like kick them off kind of thing. Let's see. Just going to create a new vault. Yes, I agree. Username is SYNACK. Password is super secure. All right, so yeah, we're all signed in. Life is good. All right, so if we come back here and we refresh, awesome. So we can see when the last person signed in, when they last signed in, what their username is, how many vaults do they have. Let's look at our actions. Let's hit view. All right, so this will tell us the vaults that they have currently. If I needed one restored, that's cool. We can block user if we want to prevent them from gaining access. We can revoke any sort of sessions that they have open. And it looks like they have email claims too, which is probably when you just request an account. So let's just do this. Let's do Facebook. And our new email address is Christopher Tran. So let's refresh. Yeah, check it out. And you see how many emails have come in. That's pretty cool. Block. See what happens when we block them and see if they get kicked out. Well, not immediately, apparently. Huh, nope, not immediately. Let's see when they refresh. And they go to sign in again. Your account has been disabled. Ha, sucker. Cool. All right. Emails gives an overview of recent emails received by this server. That's pretty cool. Note that the email field except the two are encrypted with public key of the user and cannot be decrypted by the server. That's good to know. That would have been a little disconcerting if you could just pretty much read everybody's email. We also see that we have SMTP is enabled and now I guess disabled. So I clicked that. Let's see. See what happens when these clicked. Oh yeah, I guess it just turns them off. Services stopped. Services stopped. Okay, let's turn it back on. And we have a log of pretty much everything that has happened with your server, any sort of errors or warnings. We have our authentication log as well as IP addresses, server settings. So this is cool. We have, all right, so how many, what the lifetime of the token is when someone signs in, both short and long, how much log retention we're going to have. You know, maybe we want to have all the log retention, and maintenance schedules. We can run maintenance tasks and we can see when maintenance tasks were last run. Not a ton of things, but you know, helpful things, right? Yeah. All right, guys. That pretty much sums it up. It was a pretty easy installation. All right, well, if you had any questions during this whole process, I know we moved a little quick, but hopefully you were able to pick it up. But if you do have any questions, leave them down below. If you have any comments, also leave those. And if you found this video helpful, definitely consider giving me a thumbs up And please check out this AliasVault. Follow this guy. This is a really amazing software, and definitely one of the cleanest open source projects that I have had the honor of taking a look at. So definitely support the guy. And I don't know if he has a coffee link, but if he does, I'll put it in the description down below. I really appreciate you guys dropping in, spending a little bit of time with me today. Look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then, take it easy, guys. Bye.